Welcome in to the CHGO Bears Podcast on a historic day for the city of Chicago, for CHGO, for Kevin Warren, for Nicholas Moreano, for Greg Braggs, for Adam Hogue. Our thoughts are with you, my brother. For Stephen Nicholas, for George McCaskey. Not for you, Arlington Heights.
Damn it.
Wow. What I have dressed appropriately for the occasion today. It's the first time ever wearing a sport coat on the show.
In the history of CHGO.
In the history of CHGO. I don't know what you guys were feeling when they unveiled the stadium renderings and the music video and the whole thing, but I felt it. I felt it everywhere. I felt it all over me. I felt it in my feet. I felt it in my head. I felt it in my ears. I felt it in places that I won't talk about. I felt it. I know, and don't lie to me. You felt it too. You were in there, Nick. You felt it.
I cannot lie. It was pretty cool seeing the vision that Kevin Warren has for the Lakefront and for, you know, the Bears Stadium and just everything that they're trying to incorporate there. I was glued to the screen that they had, and so was everybody else that was there kind of watching the renderings that were unfolding. What about you, Greg, when you saw the pictures and then, yeah, just everything that kind of was happening there?
Well, I hate to...
no, don't even do it.
You know,
CHGO Bears pre-draft celebration of Soldier Field to come is being brought to you today by our friends at ButcherBox, butcherbox.com/CHGO. ButcherBox offering our listeners an amazing offer where new users get free meat plus $20 off your first box. Join today using our link, butcherbox.com/CHGO. Use the code CHGO to receive this exclusive offer today before time runs out. You didn't like it? Really? You didn't feel it?
Yeah, I hate to take the wind out of your sails, Karm, but, you know, I know they started, the day with prayer, the whole thing with prayer, but
that was weird.
I just honestly pray they don't fuck up tomorrow's draft as much as they fucked up today. Like, nobody gives a shit about this stadium today. The Chicago Bears are drafting Caleb Williams tomorrow. We're less than, 30 hours away from this amazing moment for Bears fans. We've been waiting all offseason, our whole lives in a lot of ways for this. And you want to drop this stadium talk that honestly, let's talk about this for the next 20 years. The stadium is never going to get built. I don't give a shit about this stadium. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Let's talk about it 3 months from now. Let's talk about Arlington Heights some more. It's annoying. I don't want to talk about it anymore, but I know we're going to talk about it today. The renderings look nice. No, there's no parking. What else is new? But at the end of the day, it's not going to get built for 20 years, and honestly, it probably will never get built. So let's talk about Caleb Williams, how about we? But I know we're going to talk about the stadium,
okay.
So have fun with it.
Okay. Well, I get that this is about you and not...
it's not about me. It's about Bears fans. We want to talk about the draft tomorrow, and Kevin Warren and the Bears tried to put the whole stadium talk, slip it under the rug the day before the draft when... We want to talk about the draft right now. It's not about me. It's about Bears fans. We don't give a shit about this, and everybody can see that it's never going to get built.
Okay. We have been talking about the draft for 3 months, going on every day. We are going to have the biggest draft party ever tomorrow night. There's going to be a full Caleb Williams celebration tomorrow night and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, so you can chill out. The negative Nancy's out there right now can just chill. I grant you the timing is a little odd. It is weird. But just relax.
It's not odd. It's intentional.
Okay, smarty pants.
It's not odd.
What's the intention? What's the intention?
It's obviously a controversial topic to try to get taxpayers to pay for X amount of dollars.
You think the strategy is if we do this the day before the draft, we'll pass it through?
Of course. You can't do this 2 weeks from now.
J.B. Pritzker does not know that the draft is tomorrow,
really?
Nor does he care.
Really?
No, he doesn't. It's not on his mind, okay? Like that is not. They didn't try to put this today so they'll get the money tomorrow. They did it.
You've been in the media for 30 years and you're going to act like this isn't intentional? Like Friday news dumps aren't a thing? I mean, this is essentially a Friday news dump. Hey, the pictures look nice. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Listen, pictures look nice.
It's not when you're trying to get.
I'll draw you a picture.
900. When you're trying to get $900 million, it's not a news dump. They're asking for significant money. This is going to be a news story. There's no dumping this. You can't. This is not something you can just put in the recycle bin that we used to have here that we don't have anymore. Probably because you sullied it. So listen, this is a major ask that who knows if it'll go through.
No, they were asking God for help.
Well,
that was really.
It might take God to get this thing done.
That was strange. Like asking a higher power for the stadium news. Like, what are we
doing?
doing?
Get out of here.
Oh, okay, but so let me the part where you stopped listening, which is probably 5 seconds into the press conference. Let me explain what they said. They have a month to push this through. He wants to get moving. He wants the stadium built by. He said 2028.
Sounds great. Never gonna happen.
You don't know that. It's the same conversation I was having. Yes, actually, I will bet. I will bet. I sat here a year ago and said Chicago, and everybody went nuts and said you're crazy. But and now we're sitting here, and you're telling me it's never going to get built. Do you realize they have $650 million of debt on the current Soldier Field? Okay, that every year they stay in there, they completely overestimated the hotel tax. This is all money that taxpayers have to pay. So now we have a guy coming in here. If I'm J.B. Pritzker, we have a guy coming in here. His name's Kevin Warren. He built a stadium in Minneapolis, U.S. Bank Stadium. He paid for it 23 years early. You have an albatross on the lakefront that you have no idea what to do with. Would I want to make a deal with this guy to move this forward, to have everything that they're trying to put out there, park space and all of it? I'm looking in the mirror like, yeah, I do want to do this because I got a huge problem over there, and he's trying to fix it for me. Thank you. Maybe I should start calling Kevin Warren God. To me, this makes sense economically. And I'm not an economist, but you have a huge problem there. What are you going to do with that place? It's falling apart, and you completely lied to the public. Now you got people up there talking. We're actually completely lowering the amount of money that we think that we're going to get in hotel taxes because they inflated it before at 5.5% increases each year, which didn't happen. The pandemic came. Hotel taxes are completely and utterly unpredictable. You don't know how many people are coming to the city in a year. They're trying to be way more conservative now. And again, they've got a huge problem over there. This guy. So I think the Bears, and listen, again, not an economist, but a lot of what they're saying to me makes sense. And it seems like, as far as all the options go, this seems like a pretty damn good one for both the Bears and the city. By the way, as far as the Bears owning their own stadium, most NFL teams don't. 4 of them do. Of course. So I don't. I think this is. I think this is there's a lot of wins to be had here, and again, maybe they're pulling the wool over my eyes, but I don't see a great solution to the lakefront problem if they go to Arlington Heights, and the fact that they're putting up $2 billion. That's not nothing.
And Kevin Warren when he was answering questions unprompted, he brought up that $2 billion again to make sure this is a huge investment on the Bears' part to put their own money into this project, this historic project that they want to accomplish. I will say this. This is obviously something that's going to take, I think they said, 5 years, somewhere around there to make this all happen. Does it, for you, Greg, who, you seem really on the opposite end of the fence about this, does it, for Kevin Warren coming from Minnesota, what they're able to build, does that provide any kind of confidence so that maybe instead of being pessimistic about it, it can actually happen because he's done it?
Yes, he's laid the groundwork showing the blueprint, what they did in Minnesota and how fast it got paid off and how nice that stadium is. And I'm all for all that. But I also know how things work in this city. And I know how hard and how long the red tape goes. And Kevin Warren can have all the plans in the world, and there's always going to be a hurdle. We've talked about this for a year and a half now, and it's just going to continue to be a conversation. 3 months from now, there will be some other hurdle. 6 months from now, a year from now, we'll be talking about this in 5 years. This stadium is not getting built in 2028. It's not happening. It's not going to happen.
All right. Okay.
So it's just like, for me, it's just an exhausting conversation because wake me up when the stadium gets built. Wake me up when there's a shovel in the ground and they start actually building it, because until then, it's all just noise to me. The pictures look nice. Plan sounds great. When we were at Arlington Heights a year ago at the town hall, same thing. Pictures look nice. Everything sounded great. But it's not. Now it's not happening. So a year from now, it's going to be the same thing with this, and it's just a dog and pony show. I don't care until the stadium gets built. For me, the focus today and tomorrow is about the draft. I don't care about this. It's annoying. It's honestly, I know you're excited because you're going to get to have your I Told You So tour. But for me, I don't give a shit. I want to talk about the Bears team getting better tomorrow. And I think most Bears fans do. They're sick of this conversation.
We've been talking about it. We have a 4-hour show tomorrow.
I'm not saying we haven't. I'm not saying we haven't. But
you don't have to. I mean,
you just want to have that continuing conversation through the draft.
There is one show going on about this. And obviously, by the way, second half of the show today, we have an interview with Cole Kmet where Nick and Hogue sat down with him. So that's coming up at the bottom, or the top of the hour, I should say. If you're watching live, around 3 o'clock, we'll be playing that. But look, so yes, it was a major day today. And I get that you're in baby mode right now. That you want what you want when you want it, and all the time. I get it, and maybe you'll be right that all of this was a dog and pony show. It was a hell of a dog and pony show. They played Cake by the Ocean.
Did you say Arlington Heights when we were at the town hall? Was that a major day?
Yeah, it was. And then Arlington Heights blew it. They overplayed their hand.
There you go.
It would have been a major. It would have been major, and then they blew it. So will Chicago blow it? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. Do you care where the Bears play ultimately? Does it matter to you?
No. I'll be at the game wherever they play.
Wherever they
play in a parking lot.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Did you like the view of downtown? Would that do something
nice.
for it?
Like I said, the pictures look nice.
I get it. Listen,
pictures look nice.
Listen, I get it. You're if they play in Bourbonnais, if they play in Batavia, if they play in Bangladesh, you're going. I got it.
Right.
I got it.
London. We'll be there.
Yes. Right. No problem. God's calling.
Let's pray. Everyone pray.
I don't get. Listen, I'm not here to give taxpayer money to billionaires. It's not my thing. But when billionaires put up $2 billion and you've got a huge albatross of debt sitting right there, maybe this can actually be a win-win.
Sounds great. Wake me up when it does.
Okay. Well, it could be in a month, bud. They're trying to. They want to push this through in a month.
Quick.
That'd be great. And I'll applaud them when it happens.
And one way or another, by the way, in a month, it's going to be a major story again. So you might want to sit that one out that day.
And for people watching,
it'll be a big day.
When they put a shovel in the ground, I'll applaud them. Look at it. I mean, that honestly, it looks amazing.
It does kind of remind me of U.S. Bank with just the glass that they have right there, the openness, and if
I like that they're leaving the columns up.
That's pretty cool.
Leave the columns up. That's a great touch. I don't see any parking in any of these renderings unless we're all taking boats to the game.
Yeah,
maybe we are.
You'll get a boat.
I can take a boat from Northwest Indiana to the game, no problem. But Chicagoans.
Well, tailgating is not going to be the biggest. If you're a big tailgater, this is a blow for you. However, they're going to figure out the parking, build it down, build it up, put a double decker on whatever lot they were talking about, Waldron deck, whatever. It's not going to have the best parking of any stadium in the NFL. There's no way around that. However, take a train. I don't, that part of it. The part that for me gets past it when you see the renderings for the Final Four, for the Super Bowl, for soccer, for everything, for concerts, everything coming in here. Would you enjoy a Super Bowl here?
Yeah, I'd love. I've always said when they put out that video like a year ago with Bill Curtis, it was the same thing. And it was a video narrated by Bill Curtis, and it was in Chicago. I was like, hey, this looks great.
Mm-hmm.
wake me up when they do it.
Where's
Now
it
it's
at
a new
now?
rendering. Yeah. No Bill Curtis this time. That's fine too. We're all for it.
Bill got fired.
Selfishly, I don't really care if there isn't any parking. Doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect Karm. I'll know how to get to the stadium easy. It's for the fans that don't come as much that it'll be a harder issue for.
And we had an amazing tailgate this year.
They can just all park at our tailgate.
They can all come there.
Good idea.
And maybe next year at the tailgate we'll have our friends from Family Farms there as well. The culinary journey is woven with passion and a commitment to crafting the finest bacon-wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized taste buds since 1974. Family Farms, they're more than just a traditional name. We've evolved into purveyors of gourmet delights with their signature bacon-wrapped chicken leading the way. Join us on this flavorful adventure. Every bite is a story of tradition, of quality, and enduring spirit of Family Farms. The tradition continues. Now you can find Family Farms bacon-wrapped chicken even easier. Look for them in the meat department at your local Woodman's, local Moreanos, and also they are thrilled to announce their arrival on Amazon Marketplace as well. Experience the flavor that's become the family favorite for generations. Visit your nearest Woodman's or Moreanos or visit the new Amazon Marketplace store today.
Check out Family Farms, and you got to check out CDJR. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, they have some great news for you. Our partner, Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Fox Lake, is celebrating the Jeep Celebration event all month long, and you know what that means. You'll be able to rave about their savings on a wide selection of inventory. And look, for a limited time, lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Altitude for $439 a month for 39 months. If that Grand Cherokee isn't big enough for you, check out the third row and lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited L for $479 a month for 39 months at Ray CDJR. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect, thanks to Ray's Price Promise. And don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. And of course, but that's not all. Just for listening to CHGO Bears, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center or mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. But you have to schedule before April 30th. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
And if you want to talk cars, a great way to do it would be to come to our draft party on Friday night because we do have tickets available, and Ray Scarpelli from Ray Chevy is going to be there.
He's going to be there?
He's going to be there, buddy.
What's he pulling up in?
Something sweet. So there are tickets available for Friday night, 6 to 10. Braggs will be in a much better mood that day because all we'll be doing is talking about the draft and who the Bears are picking.
About the team.
Yes, that's right, the team.
Gary Fensick will be there.
Yes.
Have a chance to get an autograph and a picture with Gary. Corey Wooten will be there. We're going to be having a lot of fun. So shout out to Collectors Cave for bringing Gary out. Hit up their website at makesigningsfunagain.com. A lot of great Chicago sports memorabilia for an affordable price. And they donated a few signed jerseys here from the last time we did a show at a Collectors Cave event and met Jervon Dexter and interviewed him. And a couple signed jerseys will be given away Friday at the draft party. So tickets still available. Get them while you can. Dalton and the Sheriffs for the after party. It's going to be a lot of fun celebrating the new era of the Chicago Bears.
So Matt Hepler, let's get your super chat up there, $9.99 from Matt. I think these are good talking points. So Matt is saying that he lost a lot of respect for Kevin Warren today. This was a disgrace using religion to steal from our overtaxed Chicago taxpayers when our pensions are 25% funded, interest rates sky high, total joke. Matt, Kevin, I don't know about the prayer thing was awkward, but let's talk about if you believe Kevin to be sincere or insincere. Kevin doesn't have anything to do with where the pensions are funded. He doesn't have anything to do with how we're being taxed. He doesn't have anything to do with interest rates being sky high. His job, of course, is to do the best to represent the Chicago Bears. But when I listen to him talk, I have a hard time figuring out if he's working for the Bears or if he's working for the city. Mm-hmm. He talks more passionately about the city and making and giving back to the community. And I'm sitting there in the back wondering, how did you get George McCaskey to buy off on not having your own stadium and owning it. Now, only 4 teams in the NFL do, but I was wondering that question, and then when it came to the back end of it, he, in essence, said, trust me. He did say, trust me, and that a private-public partnership is a great thing for the Bears and a great thing for the city. So you can't put all the problems of the city and the state on the Bears. Now, they have sure, you can look back in time and point to the generous deal that they got on the renovation of Soldier Field, but Kevin Warren wasn't here for that.
Nope.
So, and again, maybe I'm just naive here, but I tend to believe him when he says that all these things about giving back and having everyone, people who have been given less opportunity in life to have opportunities, that all this matters a ton to him. It rings true to me. It does not ring hollow. I believe the guy.
You know, Mark, I want to ask you this question because there's a lot of faith in Brandon Johnson, too, with Kevin Warren. And so when these things ultimately get finalized, or what, in 5 years is going to take to get this stadium built, I mean, there's a scenario where Brandon Johnson's not a part of the equation anymore. But it seems like they are very in lockstep with what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, and kind of going to the support that Kevin Warren has in the city. A lot is being put on Brandon Johnson too. Do you think that's an issue though?
So he's got to make a deal now. He's got to partner with the mayor now. He has no idea if Brandon's going to be here or if he's not going to be there. Neither does Brandon, who campaigned to be here today.
Yeah.
Flat out campaigned for it. So that whole thing, like he's trying to use Brandon, and that he's trying to make a deal. He'd be doing it with whoever is in. Whoever was the mayor right now, and as far as I listen. This is not a political show, but we don't really see Brandon a whole lot. So I've asked him to come on the show 100 times. Hasn't happened. So he was certainly enthusiastic today. Is Kevin using that relationship to get things that he wants for the Bears? Maybe he is. But again, going back to my original, I don't see this. Kevin Warren doesn't come across to me as some sleazy guy who's trying to take advantage of everybody. This is not.
He's a businessman.
Right.
And he's a sharp businessman. So he's making a sales pitch. Like, there's nothing finalized today. You put out the renderings, you lay out the plan, just like Arlington Heights.
Right.
And then the city, in this instance, you said Arlington Heights dropped the bag. And now in this instance, is the city going to drop the bag? They're offering something. They're laid out the plan. They're showing a resume of how it's worked out in Minnesota. And will Chicago, meet in the middle? Arlington Heights couldn't meet in the middle. Chicago, I'm sure there's always a catch on a sales pitch, but wait, there's more. So, I'm sure there's going to be some catch that Chicago's going to have to sacrifice to make all this work, just like the Bears will have to meet in the middle to make this work. The issue is when it comes to politics and government, and specifically in Chicago and the red tape that I was referencing, is so many different people want to get – we saw this in Arlington Heights with the taxes. So many different people want to get their hands in the cookie jar. Everybody wants a taste. And that's where it becomes a problem, when every different person that has different agendas and, wanting a piece of the pie, that's where it slows things up.
Well, I'll tell you one place. What are you laughing at, Steven?
I'm laughing at our sales guy, Jim Cook's comment here. There's not always a catch to a sales pitch.
Okay.
Except with Jim.
Jim Cook is somebody that I would trust to the end of the earth whenever he presents anything to you. This guy is just as rock solid as they come.
Gave me a great recommendation on wings in Bird's Nest in Arlington Heights, so you can trust Jim.
I'll tell you one particular little corner of this whole equation that I would be let's say I would be somewhat nervous about, because the White Sox were brought up, and Kevin said that it'd be great if the White Sox get their deal too, but the Bears are showing up with $2 billion. White Sox are showing up with no dollars. There's only so many dollars going around here. So if the Bears get their money and the Sox show up with nothing, I don't have it does feel to me there is a legit chance that could go sideways and they end up this is not the White Sox show, but like that Nashville could become a thing. Because the Bears are going about this completely differently. Right. Jerry's just asking for money. The Bears are saying, like, we are making the biggest public-private commitment in the NFL right now. We're giving you $2 billion.
And the city's going to be more willing to work with the Bears because they fill their stadium 16 times a year. And, oh, by the way, now it's a dome, and you're going to have the Final Four. You're going to have everything else and WrestleManias and concerts. But Comiskey
plus the
and
Lakefront.
the Sox fans, they don't fill their stadium 81 times a year, and it's basically just a baseball stadium. I'm sure you could do other events there, but not in the same realm that the Bears will be able to.
Right. And so
then wait till they try to make this like a conjoined stadium. I know they wouldn't, but like
that's not happening. I'm just like, White Sox. How are you going about this? You feel like you're getting left behind here.
Get your shit straight.
I mean, this thing is moving quickly, and maybe it won't get pushed through. I was looking at you. It's funny we just put up George McCaskey. But like I kept on looking at him today, and I'm like. And somebody asked, like, how exactly does that $2 billion come out? Does that get to that money?
Yeah.
How's that happen? I'm like, well, George just writes a check, but of course, they work with the banks and equity firms and however these. I mean, it's way above my understanding of exactly how all these things get paid and where the
$2 billion from
who's doing what. But George just looks like he's just hanging out. Like I'm here.
Yeah, he does. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Somebody said in the chat, Braggs only speaks in idioms. I don't know what the hell you just called me, but I have no idea what the fuck an idiom is. Don't call me an idiom. You're an idiom.
I mean,
here's the actual definition of idiom. A group of words established by usage as having a meaning not from those of the individual words. So, rain, cats, and dogs. See the lights. Idioms.
Okay. I hear a lot of sayings on a job site, so I guess that's where I get it. I don't know.
Well, one thing about you that has absolutely no doubt is you are going to be you. You are your emotions are going to come out at any time. I walked in today and you gave me this really weird look, and I didn't exactly know why. And now I understand why. That you didn't want to talk about any of this, and you didn't like any of my videos.
I was bitching
today.
about it before you came in here.
I got it.
Do not care.
I got it. I got it. I would have loved to have known before the show that you just are.
Why? Then we'll have more fun on the show.
Keep it a surprise.
I'm a little. I was. I just didn't know it was of this level. And the draft is tomorrow, and we're not talking about it. They might not draft Rome Odunze. You don't even want to talk about Fatanu. Okay. Our draft show will be exquisite tomorrow night. $10 from our guy Chico Grizzly on the Super Chat bandwagon here. If we can be optimistic with this new look Bears with an actual franchise quarterback, why can't we be optimistic with the new leadership group actually getting shit done, Braggs? Why can't it be in coordination?
Well, because it takes two to tango. We're not drafting a new stadium, and the stadium has no choice but to be in Chicago, like Caleb. Enjoy your time here, but you're coming here, whether you like it or not. There's two to tango when it comes to the city and the Bears plan. So when that two has to tango, I know how that dance goes.
Draft the star.
You used to be kind of like this fun, optimistic person.
I am fun and optimistic, but like at some point, the last time we talked about the stadium is the same thing. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's annoying.
We might have to talk to upper management if you are officially granted vacation days on any stadium talk days, because there's going to be more. We got to figure out a solution here.
Like I said, shovel in the ground. I'll applaud the whole thing. Finalized deal,
Nick.
Signature on the contract. Hey, all day. I'll applaud the whole thing. I just don't have any faith that it'll actually happen anytime soon. So it just seems like a big waste of air today.
I wrote, first of all, shout out to the many people who loved seeing CHGO out there. Our guy Cole was checking people in today. Thank you to him.
Yeah.
Cole's the man. Cake by the Ocean, Sex on Fire, Fantasia When I See You. I mean, they were bumping tunes. And here you go, Braggsy. It's like give you a little something.
Yeah, give me that.
They had
Still
Garrett's,
warm. He was
they had
just
Garrett's
sitting on it.
popcorn for everybody. There you go. I brought you one.
Cool.
So you can have that. Nick has a bag. I had a bag. It was delicious. And, yeah.
Had a Bears cookie, too, so that was
They
pretty
had
good.
Bears cookies.
Yep.
It was lovely. All right, Cole Kmet is coming up. He talked about interestingly, he talked about the dinner that he had with Caleb, correct?
Yep.
Nick, I mean, you were there, I was not. So what can we expect in this interview?
I can expect a little bit behind the scenes of that dinner and how Caleb, what it was like being around Caleb, a little bit of Shane Waldron in the offense, and, just what it's been like in now that was phase 2, kind of what it's been like just being around the team. But we're about to get to that Cole Kmet interview. You guys are definitely going to enjoy it, and there may have been some ping pong played as well.
The most impressive rally I've ever seen.
The fact that I was not invited to this interview and there was ping pong is one of the most disappointing moments in my career. But don't worry about it. The Bears are going to get a new stadium, and Bragg's going to be there in 2028. Now back to you, Nick.
Oh, is this me?
This is you, buddy.
Oh, boy. So I have to tell everybody about Prize Picks, which is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Look, it's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you just watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks has something for every sports fan, from baseball and basketball to League of Legends and everything in between. And Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured for football and basketball games. If you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return the second half there, Greg, that player projection won't count against you, and the rest of your entry stays alive. And honestly, I just kind of like scrolling through the Prize Picks app and checking out all the different lines and making different entries. And you have to check it out yourself. And you can do that by going to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use the code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use that code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
This one's for you, Gregory. Thank you very much. Glasses could help. Last ad break was a little bit challenging. Hey there, Bears fans like you, Greg Braggs. I've got some news that's going to make you raise your glasses. Did you know, Greg, that the Bears are ready to select the first overall pick in the draft since 1947? First time drafting first tomorrow, like less than 7 hours from now. They also, by the way, currently have the number 9 overall too. We might talk about who they're going to draft at 9 coming up here for the zillionth time.
Let's talk about that. We can talk about parking.
No, let's talk about picks.
For parking.
Let's talk about your deep take about J.J. McCarthy in a second. This is a historic moment, damn it, and Miller Lite is going to make you and help us usher and celebrate a new era of Bears football in a way that matches this draft's epicness with Odunze, with Caleb, with whoever they pick at 75, with the new stadium. Mark your calendars. Thursday, April 25th, there's a chance to win a pair of season tickets if you post yourself cheering on the number 1 pick on Instagram with the hashtag Lights Up for the Pick, hashtag sweepstakes. So 2 hashtags. Hashtag Lights Up for the Pick, hashtag sweepstakes, tag Miller Lite, spread that word, Chicago. Celebration for the ages. We want you to be a part of it. Go to the Bears website to find an HQ Bear near you. Come out on draft night, Thursday, April 25th. Be a part of history. Miller Lite, celebrating responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Chance to win a pair of season tickets.
That's huge.
Which you can roll over and have it in the new stadium in 2028. Damn it.
That'd be sweet.
You, for the record, as we get into Cole Kmet, you did your best to take my juju
win
down
from your sales,
and you will not do that. This was a win for the Bears today.
Just put on Cole Kmet. I'm gonna eat this popcorn.
You want another one?
I got one over there.
How many did you lift from Soldier Field? Jesus.
Listen,
souvenirs.
Lawrence Benedetto wants one. Maybe Peck's in for a Garrett's popcorn mix.
What?
I'm here to support the team.
Wait a minute. This said a mix. Does this look like a mix in here?
Wait,
look at this.
Oh, it does say mix.
Look it.
Okay.
It says cheddar and caramel mix.
Dump it on your lap. There's plenty of
and there's nothing but cheddar in here.
The
look.
caramel's at the bottom.
Look it. Does it look like a mix? See, this is what I'm talking about. Advertising says caramel and cheddar mix.
Tell you one
and
thing.
then what do you get in the bag, ladies and gentlemen? You get nothing but cheddar.
Dump it on yourself.
Look it. That's
it
what I'm worried about. Look at this beautiful stadium. Oh, wait, just cheddar. No caramel.
There's no caramel in here. Get to the bottom. There's tons of caramel. All right, Cole Kmet with Hogue and with Nick right now on CHGO Bears. Thank you for watching this. It's going to be amazing.
All right, we are at the new Travis Mathew location in Oak Brook. Our guy Cole Kmet is here. We've been shopping around a little bit, rocking some hoodies.
We found a Notre Dame color.
Look at that. That's perfect for you. You might need a bigger one.
Yeah, Notre Dame reunion events. This will be good for.
I can fit in that one.
Yeah,
so
out on the
that
beach or
one's bigger for
something.
me.
That's Nick's size. We'll get you
Yeah, I like it.
we'll get
I
you
like
a
it.
bigger one.
I like it.
So, a lot's happened since we last talked to you, or at least I feel like we have a little bit better idea of what's going on at the quarterback position. Rumor has it you were at this dinner with Caleb Williams.
Yeah. The rumored dinner. Yeah.
How'd it go?
It was great. It was good. It was good to kind of interact. Kind of a unique situation. You know, I don't think I'll ever get a chance to do that again. You know, obviously with us having the one pick, we know they have first dibs on whoever they want. So cool to kind of get to know Caleb a little bit. Super down-to-earth kid, normal. All the things you see on social media might not really be true. I'll say that. But yeah, it was a great dinner. I mean, we were there for 3.5 hours and closed the place down. So yeah, they kind of had to kick us out there at the end. I think all the chefs and the waiter and waitresses wanted to get back home, but it was a good time. It was a good time.
So Cole, can you paint the picture a little bit too? You say you're there for like 3 hours. What are you ordering? Are you at like at the small kids table? Like how does it kind of range?
Yeah, I mean we had our own kind of private room in the back, and yeah, just super casual really. I mean it was just a good introduction, and you know at the end of the day he's just like the rest of all of us. Kind of we've all followed the same type of journey, and obviously he's had a big spotlight on him. Since being at Oklahoma to USC, but just a normal guy, and it was good to kind of have those first steps to getting to know him, and you know, it seems like that's kind of going to be the selection come Thursday, so we're all looking forward to it.
What did Caleb order?
Well, we did a family style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was all for that.
Yeah.
So we did some steaks, some sides, a little dessert at the end. But yeah, we did a family style, which was cool.
I just want to make sure you didn't like order mac and cheese or something.
Yeah, no.
We don't need a red flag like that on the scouter report.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good.
So when Ryan Poles comes to you, because this is not a normal thing.
No, not at all.
And says, hey, the biggest thing we'd like is to have some of his future teammates have dinner with him. Like, what was your reaction? What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I was all in. I thought it was super cool that they were able to do that. I didn't know if that was like against league rules or something. I guess not. So, but it was cool just to kind of have that first introduction. So I know all the other guys that were there really enjoyed it, and it was just a good, like I said, good first introduction to him, and I know he's excited about what's to come as well.
So Caleb's had this high profile and, been out there, wins the Heisman. This has been going on for a few years now. So when you say like all these things out there might not necessarily be true. Like, did the players kind of have to overcome that too? Because it's not like you knew Caleb Williams, and how much did that dinner help you really get to understand who he really is?
Yeah, I guess I think I kind of left dinner feeling bad of any ill-willed thoughts I had going into it, and I always try and keep an open perspective until I meet somebody, and I think now I've been in the league long enough and seen enough storylines on guys to know that you just got to meet the person. I mean, just going back to Justin, I mean, there was a lot of things, if you remember when Justin was coming about him and his character, and none of those were true at all. So you kind of take it for a grain of salt, but when you actually get to go meet the person, it's always good to see face to face and see what they're like, in real life. So,
Cole, was there ever a moment where, as a quarterback, you have to kind of command the room? Did it ever kind of feel like, even in that small introduction at dinner, where it kind of felt that way, or did you kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed just because super engaging, was willing to let other people talk, would take a hold of the conversation as well. Didn't look at his phone once. So those are all things that I kind of look at, and that was really encouraging to see. So, I mean, just a guy who's engaged with everybody, listening to what you had to say, and I think that's going to bode well for him, especially coming into a situation that we're in right now. And now we got to a pretty veteran group at this point. So that's going to go over well with the veterans amongst the team.
Oh, look, it's a Heisman Trophy winner from USC. What a coincidence.
Boo!
All right, we have a ping pong table at CHGO, but we don't have a glass one. We
Can't see through it at CHGO?
No, which is probably a good thing. But,
Yeah.
This is sick. We might have to get one of these.
This is dope. Yeah, I'm really jealous of this exact thing.
Nick's the ping pong player, so I'm gonna let you go against Cole.
Let's hear Ivan.
Here we go. We're just gonna volley it here.
There we go.
Get it going. See, this is the part where Mark and I will start playing, and then he starts doing.
Then he gets more competitive. with
Then
it.
he does little grunts from like tennis, and then like this is ping pong, dude.
Yeah, we don't need that from Karm.
Yeah,
It's a
they're
little strange.
turning into weird moans and.
Plus, he will. He's just Mr. Patient.
Yeah.
He just sits there and waits for you to screw up. So
Yeah.
eventually, Karm does.
I think that's my game as well too.
Okay,
So this could go forever.
The 2 hours later from the SpongeBob thing.
2 hours later.
There we go. All right. Well, then I'm gonna ask a question.
Oh yeah.
over you.
Yeah,
So
right.
what was the dirt on Cole Kmet?
Coming out of the draft?
Going into the draft, like
Ooh.
I feel like you didn't have a lot of red flags, but like what did you have to overcome?
I think the thing with me with teams was the baseball. Was asking if I'd leave if things weren't going well. I don't think they were actually really that concerned, but they had to bring something up, I think. So it was the baseball, if I would leave to go play baseball if things weren't going well for me in the league over the first couple of years.
And Cole, you were at your parents, right, for draft day?
Yeah, it was during COVID, so I was talking to Danny about that earlier. During COVID, and yeah, it was in the living room. It was kind of a bizarre situation, but it was still a memorable night.
So, I mean, what's like that atmosphere like when you're waiting to hear your name, you don't know when it's going to happen, but when it
Yeah,
finally
I
does.
think it's weird because like I was kind of a fringe late first, early second guy, and I knew something would happen around then. My dad was really optimistic for first round. I just put in my head, all right, it's going to be second round, and if it first happens, that'll be great. So the first night goes by, and my dad was pretty disappointed, but my girlfriend was like, you're going to the Bears. And I didn't think there was a chance in heck I was going to the Bears. And sure enough, next day, get the call, and now I've been a Chicago Bear for the past 4 years.
Did she say anything about Super Bowl 2024, 2025, or anything like that?
She hasn't said
Put
anything
out
yet.
there?
She said 24 and 25 have a good ring to it, so I don't know.
There it is.
that was
counting
long.
that?
You guys got to get that out. That was a
We'll
long.
have to go back and count that.
That was on me though too. Dang.
Practice or anything? We just went right.
That was like over 3 minutes of.
That was long. That was long. But no, I think Super Bowl hopefully is on the horizon in the near future. Yes.
So you really didn't think you were going to the Bears?
No, I didn't. I thought there was enough teams before then that that needed a tight end that would have taken me that I had good interviews with. But then like there's guys that drop in the draft that you don't expect to, and guys that followed the second round. Like I remember T. Higgins was available in the second round, Jonathan Taylor. So those guys kind of get eaten up, and then I was left there at 43. So
Is there anybody from that draft class, tight end wise, that you're still talking to?
Harrison Bryant, when I see him at the
Okay, yeah.
Browns, yeah, he's a good kid. We did a lot of training together. But yeah, we had a good draft group that we worked out with. Justin Herbert was in that draft group. He's a heck of a golfer. But yeah, there's a few guys in that draft class that I definitely keep in touch with.
All right. Well, speaking of the golf, we're fitted out pretty good here for
We
the
are,
offseason.
yeah, fitted out.
How's your game right now?
It's getting back. Remember, I had the forearm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I just got back playing 2 weeks ago. So it's climbing back up. It's been getting better and better. Just you gotta rep the short game. You gotta rep the short game.
I didn't have a forearm. I just had winter.
Yeah.
But,
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I like this one.
These two are kind of go-tos. You went 38, right?
Yeah.
My go-to on that one, and then just a little more lifestyle. But it's got to be sick right here. Yeah. Straight.
I like this blue color.
Yeah. So you have this one.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this one.
Yeah.
All right, so the off-season program started.
Yep.
What are your first impressions of Shane Waldron?
Oh, it's been great. Shane's a really good teacher. You can tell that by the few meetings we've had so far. So we've just been going over simple install stuff, but definitely has a direction as to how he wants the offense to look, and guys have been really receptive to that. So it's been a good start so far.
What about like Thomas Brown's in there?
Yeah.
They gave Chris Morgan more responsibility,
Sure.
run game coordinator.
Yeah.
Like, what does that all mean? Like, can you explain that? We get that question from fans all the time.
Yeah.
Like, to have a run game coordinator, pass game coordinator, offense coordinator, seems like a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even know what it means. No, Semo's still taking ahead of the run game and kind of controlling all that stuff. So Semo does the run install. He's been doing that, and Shane's been taking over the pass install stuff. And at this point, we're so limited with time. The little individual time we do have, we're all with our position coaches. So usually, Semo goes over the run game, Shane goes over the pass game, and then we'll split up. So not too much time to really interact with all the other coaches at this point. That's kind of more of a camp deal. But it's still been good to get to know these guys as we've been in the building. One
thing that I feel like I'm not even sure we've asked you about this since the offseason started, but they kept your tight end coach and Jim Dre. Like, how much of and Chris Morgan obviously helping with the offensive line and the blocking schemes and all that. Like, just with all the other turnover going around, how does that help you, and how happy were you about that part?
Yeah, I was really happy about that. Jim's been really important to me the past couple of years, and I give him a lot of credit for being the player that I've become over the past 2 seasons. I've just seen myself grow so much, both in the run and in pass game, and I think he has a lot to do with that. So, I kind of made sure I vocalized that to Coach and to Ryan there, and I was happy to see that he was retained, and he's been great. And I think he's a guy that could easily run an offensive line room and be a run game coordinator and even go beyond that, just by the type of guy who he is, and he knows ball really well. So I'm really glad to kind of have him by my side. Very lucky.
All right, I want to ask you more about that tight end room, but let's look at some more stuff over here. There's some pants over here I definitely need to buy.
The pants are nice.
Nick's hiding over here too. I know there's a coat.
I've been eyeing the jacket.
Yeah. So we got to see what.
Black jacket is nice.
Yeah.
Throw it over the hoodie.
That's perfect.
Now you're good for spring in Chicago, huh?
You might need that for another month and a half.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We still got third winter coming.
Yeah.
So Gerald Everett, how does that change the tight end room?
Oh, I think that's just another explosive playmaker. You see some of the stuff he does on film. It's really exciting. So, you can go 12 and be able to run the ball if they're in nickel, but be able to run the ball if they're in nickel, and then if they're in base, take advantage of that in the pass game. So he does a lot of good things, yards after catch, and just another violent guy with the ball in his hands and another playmaker in the building. So we're excited about that.
And he had an experience with Waldron too.
Yeah.
I know you guys are just like totally in the infant stages of install and everything like that, but can you already tell, how a guy like Gerald Everett coming in will help with all that as you guys
I think maybe some in terms of learning the playbook. I think at this point maybe that's a little overblown just because of this. It's all the same type of scheme. You're exchanging language a little bit here and there, but the principles of the offense are very similar just because it all comes from that that same tree. So, but he's good to help with in terms of communicating with Shane, and having that relationship's always beneficial for everybody in the room.
Cole, have you just maybe in some downtime, you think of all the weapons that you guys have right now, and envision the complications you can give to opposing defense when you think Keenan Allen, TJ Moore, yourself, Gerald Everett, DeAndre, so everybody in the backfield. Have you ever just sat down there and thought like, damn, we have some weapons on offense?
Well, it looks good. I think that's more of a fan thing to do, to look on the stuff, but that's what's on paper. But when on paper, it doesn't mean anything when it comes to Sunday. So we got to be able to put that all together when it comes Sunday, when it becomes real and live bullets. So obviously very exciting to see who we have, but we got to put all this thing together, and that's kind of starting now, and will lead into camp and in the preseason games and going on from there. But yeah, we got to put this thing all together. But it looks pretty good.
All right, let's put you on the spot. Give you full control over the number 9 pick.
Oh, jeez.
No, you could be selfish here. You don't have to
man.
make just if there's one guy, and I know one of these guys who's probably going to go in the top 10, or position, you could be selfish about it. Like, what's going to help the offense here? Or are you like, no, we got to get another pass rusher because that's what this league's about too.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're in a good situation with where they're at. I don't want to know if I go anywhere. Obviously, I know Joe pretty well from Notre Dame, so I've seen him. I mean, I'm hoping he goes as high as he can possibly go. So I hope he goes 2 overall. That would be my hope, even though I think it looks like it's going to be quarterbacks that kind of run the table. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, whether it's an edge guy, whether they go offensive line, add another receiver. I think we're in a good spot, and I'm sure Ryan's excited about where he's at with this draft.
You can't go wrong, like, because you just mentioned.
I don't think they can.
Yeah,
with whatever they do, whether it's trading back and getting more picks or trading up to get someone they really want. Yeah, very exciting, and I'm sure Ryan's excited about it as well.
Well, in all seriousness, like you know how excited the fans are about this.
Sure.
Sure the front office is too.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like you're gonna be watching the draft? Like what's the excitement level gonna be like for you? How are you gonna
usually I don't watch the draft, believe it or not. I just kind of see who we take on the phone. Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just it brings a lot of weird memories back. You know, it's an exciting time, but as a player, it is nerve-wracking as heck, you know, not knowing where you're going. So it kind of brings those emotions back a little bit. And it's not a day it's a day I'm super grateful for, but a day I would never want to relive, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's kind of, you got a ton of mixed emotions in it. And when it's over, I was glad it was done, and you know where you're headed to.
That probably applies to the whole pre-draft process.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the combine sucks for players.
Yeah, and I'd say like you realize how insignificant all that process is when like I'm in year 5. Like the fact that like I was stressing over a 40 or like it just means nothing when you finally have to get on the field, you know. But in that moment, it means everything to these guys, and you know I totally understand that.
You know, I think Karm would be mad at us if we didn't ask something about the stadium. It's kind of looking the direction's kind of heading to Chicago. Like, how do you feel about that and just kind of where the news is?
Just let it play out. Let's let it play out. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to keep going back and forth, and we'll see what happens. But whether it's on the lakefront, in the tiny part of the south lot, or it's
where's the parking?
Yeah, I know.
Where the hell are the cars going?
Yeah, I don't know that. That's for Kevin to figure out, I guess.
I asked him that. He didn't have an answer.
And or if it's in Arlington Heights, we'll see what happens. But yeah, right now it looks like it's trending towards Chicago. So we'll see what happens. All
right. Well, we'll see what happens this week with the draft too. Cole, always appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll talk soon.
Awesome.
Thank you for
You're on video now.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
I mean, Cole Kmet's just the greatest. That
was very good.
Seriously, so happy to have
It was good.
just gotten to know him a little bit and have him on our show. And you find any caramel in there, buddy?
Yeah, somebody said, "Shake the bag, you idiot," and I did. And sure enough, there were some at the bottom.
You need to apologize to Garrett's Popcorn right now. It's the best
Yeah,
part
what
of
if
your
they want
apologize
to
for
be a
nothing.
sponsor?
Okay, that's the best part of your day.
But-
By the way, Nick, everyone thinks you're 3 feet tall.
When I stand next to 6'6", 6'7" Cole Kmet, I do look 3 feet tall.
All men were not created equal, team.
No,
The man is.
Cole's got it all.
We have perfect evidence to the sloth to our left. Wow. And
Nice little snack and show
yeah,
there.
hey, you deserve it. All right, I know we got a ton of super chats, but and I know that we're preparing diligently tomorrow night for our draft party and all the conversation. But I think we are going to make one last prediction on the show right now. What will the Bears do with the number 9 overall pick? Stick and pick, trade back, trade up. Mm-hmm. So, Gregory, since you've been so enthusiastic and wanting to talk draft today, you get to go first.
Yeah, I mean, what's exciting about this is, you know, just from a numbers game standpoint, the Bears are either going to have a wide receiver at 9, hopefully Rome Odunze, a lot of Rome and Caleb content going around the timeline.
Yeah.
The last 24 hours of flying on the same plane. Or they'll have the number 1 defensive player on the board available to them at 9. Mm-hmm. Or if those two aren't it, then that means there's a quarterback that falls to them at 9, probably, presumably, J.J. McCarthy. So in all 3 of those instances, The Bears are in a really good spot. Like the betting odds right now, I have Byron Murphy as the top defensive guy, and I think he's the odds-on favorite to be the pick at 9. It did change this morning. Last I looked,
I'll double check your work.
Was the favorite to be the number 9 pick. But I'm going Rome Odunze, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to count on the Falcons to take a defensive player, and then I've also heard there's a lot of smoke around that teams want to trade up to draft offensive linemen. So trade up away, let Rome Odunze fall to us all day, pair him up with Caleb Williams, and let the games begin, ladies and gentlemen. That's my pick. The pick is in.
The pick is in. And, Greg, I like that because when I was thinking about this for the 9th pick, if the Bears are not moving back, and I think they're going to stay at 9, I was also leaning towards Rome Odunze, but you actually said the guy that I'm going to go with, Byron Murphy. And I just looked back at what Ryan Poles said yesterday about the defensive line position, how you can address it. He said if you have an outside guy, an edge guy, that's where you want to go get a dominant interior guy. The Bears do have Montez Sweat. You pair Byron Murphy with a Montez Sweat, that's going to make a lot of complications for opposing offensive line to be able to block both those guys. So I'm going to put it in right now, the pick at number 9 when the Bears select tomorrow night, Byron Murphy from Texas.
Okay.
So it kind of pains me. I just lied. It does pain me. It doesn't kind of pain me to be in complete alignment with Gregory P. Allen Braggs. But I am of the belief that Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams are not just going to be flying together to Detroit, but they're going to be flying back from Detroit, and they're going to be flying all over the country together. And the Bears are going to take a zillion phone calls tomorrow. But if that dude is there,
take him.
I think they're taking him. And I think I guess.
Seems like him and Caleb are getting along splendidly here.
You don't want to end it there at the draft in Detroit.
They were playing football this morning in Detroit. Throwing it around.
I like that.
I do kind of wish that they were not doing all that together, and let's be a little more coy about this whole situation.
Yeah.
There's
pretend like you don't know each other, guys.
Never seen them. We don't need to go all the way. Up until last couple of days, I've been of the opinion that the Bears are going to trade down and take a lineman.
Same.
But I tend to just sort of believe in the betting market, which you're saying has moved today, which is interesting. That's
Yep.
I did not realize that it had moved. But, Vegas knows, man. They just seem to know. I don't know how they know, but they know. I don't know how the stadium is going to get built. It's going to get built. I don't know how Greg Braggs is going to get on board.
Albert Breer said Vegas doesn't know. I'm going to trust Breer. Breer was leaning if a wide receiver's there at 9, that's who they're going to take.
Okay.
And if not, then Byron Murphy or defensive lineman, I guess is what he said. Brock Bowers continues to be the wild card in this whole thing. It'll just be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Where he ends up going,
You really think the Bears would take Brock Bowers?
I mean, that's what's exciting about this. You know, it's hard to rule it out at this point. You can bring a lot of logic to that decision, even if it isn't necessarily a need. It's an amplifier and a multiplier on your offense, a guy that creates mismatches to an offense that values the tight end position with Shane Waldron and
you can make the
guy
case
that
for
can line up as a wide receiver. He's not just a tight end.
No, he's different.
So
he's different.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really exciting to see how it's going to be so chaotic tomorrow because we're going to be going crazy at Joe's on Wheat Street.
Yeah, I'm
Caleb
jealous,
Williams mania and the celebration of that moment. And then, the Washington Commanders are on the clock, and those next, 7 picks, are so vital to what's going to happen to the Bears at 9. So we all have to lock back in pretty quickly and watch this whole thing unfold and see if J.J. McCarthy, if a team trades up to get him, and specifically the Minnesota Vikings, and see how many receivers come off the board, see if any teams are going to trade up for an offensive lineman, and bump these receivers down. towards us a little more. It's so exciting.
So it is interesting, and I guess I was just locked in on the stadium all day long that I missed this. But Byron Murphy is plus 125 to the Bears.
Yep.
And Odunze is plus 275. And they don't have him going 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a coin flip at 5 with him and Neighbors. But other than that, he's not favored anywhere else. So one of the two is going to be there. So that would be very interesting if either or Neighbors or Rome is there and they take Murphy.
The way they have seemed to just put so much around the emphasis of, putting the right environment around Caleb Williams and
soft landing spot, right?
Yeah, and the free agent moves, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett. They bring in 2 centers, and then you bring in this entire offensive coaching staff. Like, just keep with that theme and keep putting stuff around him. Bring in Rome Odunze.
Yeah, and Gary's right. I had that. I said the Chargers. It's a 6 pick. It's Neighbors and Odunze. Neighbors is plus 150 to the Giants. Odunze is plus 250. So the Chargers are either McCarthy or Marvin.
All right. I'm happy now. We talked draft.
we
Thank
filled
you.
the quota.
Okay. Super chats were busy today. Thank you so much for everybody supporting the show. We appreciate it. $4.99 from our friend Chile. Not a fan. The location is a death trap for traffic. I'm from the suburbs, so I'm biased. Arlington Heights was a better location for fans. Please, let's talk Caleb. Okay, it's a better location for you, the fan that lives in the burbs.
I agree with that fan, but
you're one of those fans too. So everybody's got their
got their preferences, right?
You got to take yourself out of it and put it what's for the greater good, and the greater good is for me.
No fun.
And
that's the funny thing. Like, Arlington Heights is twice as long a drive for me. They would hurt me if it goes to Arlington Heights. But hey, you want to keep it in Soldier Field or keep it on the lakefront? Go for it. I don't need to figure out parking because I get there at 5 a.m. There's plenty of parking when you pull up at 5 a.m.
Twan89, quit talking about the stadium. $4.99. Let's replace the most inaccessible stadium with another inaccessible stadium. Oh, Twan. I don't know. It's just amazing to me that somehow, some way, everybody gets there every Sunday and it's filled up. I don't know how that happens.
Right. Well,
and they keep coming back too.
It's true.
Must be so miserable to get there.
You got to get there at 5 a.m.
All other stadiums
and then everybody that leaves. It takes 3 hours to get out of wherever you park.
No, it's so easy to get out of the park.
You can walk.
That's correct.
From your place.
And by the way,
take yourself out of it.
So.
Think about the people that drove 8 hours from Southern Illinois to go to the Bears game, and it takes them 3 hours to get out of the parking lot. Those people exist.
And the other parking lots in the NFL, they just flow so freely getting out of there. That nobody has trouble getting out of NFL parking lots. J-Mads Gaming, $5. Keeping the Soldier Field columns is pretty dope, not going to lie. Agreed. That whole park space looks incredibly cool. $9.99 for Victor Cruz. Perks of living in the 219. Gets to enjoy the stadium with no worries of taxes. Let's go. Also, is there a chance Rome goes before Neighbors? If so, would you be happy with Neighbors? Nick, answer that.
Would I be happy with Neighbors? Absolutely. Is there a chance? There is a chance, but we'll have to see how it plays out on Thursday night.
219, baby. Region made.
Do you like chocolate ice cream?
Tax for us.
Do you like vanilla ice cream?
That's honestly what it is.
Do you like Rocky Road?
Do you like ice cream?
Yeah.
You're going to get your
ice
flavor,
cream.
whatever.
Yeah, what's your favorite ice cream, Greg?
Chocolate?
I love chocolate too, yeah.
It's a fine answer. Well, I don't know why you're so shy about it.
I mean, all ice cream? Vanilla ice cream sucks.
$4.99 from Scott. Karm fell for this hook, line, and sinker. This is dead on arrival and getting no-killed all over the place. Warren is in this for himself. You know what, Scott? You may think you know what you're talking about, and you may be proven to be right, but you're still guessing, buddy. So we'll see how this plays out.
You would have loved anything. No matter what they were saying, as long as they were saying it was going to be in the city, you were going to eat it up. Don't lie.
Yes, Greg. I want them to be in the city.
Breaking news.
No, Greg. No, Greg. I promise you this. If they were coming there just asking for money like the White Sox are and not putting up any dollars, I'd have a different opinion. I would say that's wrong. I do not support. I want them to be in the city, but you got to come.
Not like that, though.
Yeah.
Man of principle.
Yeah. $5 from Michael McCoy. So rare that I agree with Karm, as insufferable as he could be. But holy shit, is he spot on in his assessment. Thank you, McCoy. I think you started the show. Here comes insufferable Karm, too. But so I can't believe I won McCoy over today. I think that was you. Thank you, McCoy.
Good job, Mark.
Takes a big man to, pivot in life.
Mm-hmm. Got to be able to pivot.
Hashtag the Pivot Podcast.
Pivot, yeah.
Good work. LVR Steelworks, why don't you take this, Nick?
I agree. I hate to spare even one day after 5 months to discuss anything but the draft. Goof.
Yeah. Well, I know. We wait 5 months for this day. We battle it out, and now literally the day before, we're not going to talk about it. The day before. I'm not against stadium talk, but come on. We could have done this a week ago. We could have done this a week later.
You are against stadium talk. You said it 17 million times. You never want to talk about it. $2, though, from your guy, Pizzy Tola. Braggs, I'm with you. Tell Karm to shut up.
Shut up, Karm.
My Pizzy Tola.
Oh, man. We have LVR Steelworks again. Chicagoans, just pipe down and pay your taxes so I can take the train in from the burbs and enjoy this nice stadium.
See? LVR is selfish.
LVR, I'll ride that train with you. Let's talk.
I might be a goof. You're selfish. Chubbs, 82. Karm says, trust the government. No, they suck.
I never said trust the government. I promise you that didn't come out of my mouth.
We got Eric Beauchanton here asking, Braggs, are you making Whoop bring your box of Pro V1s from the NCAA bet?
I've forgotten about this bet.
This is going to be the first time you see him in person, right?
Was something about the Purdue bet, and then something about Purdue, and we bet a box of Pro V1s.
I think it was just who would go further.
He's supposed to, and I guess I won this bet. He does owe me a box of Pro V1s.
We got to text him and remind him.
Yeah.
Chico.
That I'll proceed to lose in the forest the next time I play at Palmyra.
You don't play. Where are you playing now? Palmyra?
It's just a golf course. Maybe it's not called Palmyra.
Are you getting worse or better? Or staying the same?
The last, when you guys were making fun of me the other day,
yeah,
I shot a 102, and it was so. I view it as progress because I had a terrible day.
6 seconds left. I can listen to you talk golf.
So, but I lost like 12 balls, and I was very irritated.
I asked. That was on me. I won't do that again. Chico Grizzly, $5. I'm so sick of rehashing draft talk. Been the same thing for 3 months.
We have people all over the place.
Chico, we've tried to keep it fresh.
Stadium talk.
And then one of us today just wanted to, fresh or not fresh,
oh my God, it's the day before the draft. You people are insane.
Windy 330, $9.99. My first ever super chat because I'm so passionately opposed to corporate welfare. Stop giving billionaires public money. Braggs is right. Timing is intentional to distract the public in the draft type. All right.
You plan for a wedding for a year. Then the day before the wedding, what do you do? What do you do the day before a wedding?
You get drunk and
go
hang
golfing.
out.
You do a wedding rehearsal. You don't go and do random shit that has nothing to do with the wedding.
Ryan Pauls wasn't at the press conference today. He was in his room doing what he does. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Good. I'm glad somebody's focused.
Yeah. $2 from Craig. Your point, 20. By the way, about public money for billionaires is a fair one, obviously. This circumstance is different because they are putting up a huge amount of money, and they've got this existing debt that's just the taxpayers are just going to suck up. So there's a hopefully this makes 2 wrongs don't make a right, but hopefully this makes that first wrong at least less of a wrong. I'm being optimistic here. Mm-hmm. All right, Craig Leach, our guy, $20. Go ahead, Nick.
$20 to Karm, never doing his Braggs impersonation again. Am I right?
I actually like the impersonation.
It's a good, he's been getting better with it lately. Today's wasn't as good as the other days. He's mad at me today because he likes stadium talk.
It's more so I like talking about the news of the day.
Yeah, I know. The draft isn't the news of the day.
Listen,
Rich Eisen's talking to Rome Odunze right now.
Do we have Rome booked?
I wish.
Thank you.
When he becomes a Bear, we'll talk to him then.
We all tried.
$10 from Isaac Siegel. I don't know if you guys cover this, but where's the parking? Especially since they said build while using Soldier Field. Where are South Lot people going to park?
You don't understand
Great
the future, Isaac. The hovercrafts are coming. The way we travel is going to be completely different. You're going to be beamed into the stadium. Don't worry about it.
There is this helicopter taxi company that's starting in like a year.
I did see that.
We could all just take helicopters to the stadium.
And I'll be driving that, and I'll be doing a live CHGO Bears podcast from the helicopter, and it'll be great.
I don't know. I think you mentioned it earlier. They did mention a double-decker parking garage.
Yeah, there's a double-decker situation.
I need more than a double deck.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to build down.
Underground? Okay.
The water's right there. Let's do something with that.
Hey, like I said, keep it on the lakefront. We get to keep our tailgate lot where it is. This whole area, that was the whole thing I've said. If you keep it in the city, then that area, gets lifted up and, nicer restaurants over there because it's beaten up over there, but it could be lifted up,
This is how it's always been. When I was a kid, we used to park in like some downtown garage, and there was a school bus that would take you over there. I bet somebody out there remembers that. We've survived.
We'll get it done.
We'll get it done. And if you're super rich, you can get yourself a parking pass right next to the stadium, and you guys can all pay for it. You can all get hammered there. It's George McCaskey will walk in the south lot, which will now become the north lot. Whatever, it'll work out. John Mariotti, $4.99. I know it's not ideal. It's not going to be ideal. $4.99 from John.
John Mariotti.
How can I get information to sponsor the show? You paid $5 to do that, John. That's amazing. I'll
DM one of us
easy.
Or Mark. Saying.
John, send me an email, the Karm at allchgo.com. The Karm at allchgo.com. I'll get it.
You're going to get a ton of emails now.
That's fine. I love emails. You're up, Nick.
Jeremy with a $10 super chat. Hot take. Draft depth isn't great. 4 picks plus Panthers second. I think they all do all their work Thursday, Friday, and go home. 3 picks total, 3 first-round talents, 3 day one stars, plus undrafted talent. That could be an option. Just get it out of the way. The top half of the draft is where the strength
Panthers
is.
second is until next year.
Yes,
so we're clear.
Yeah. So,
look, he said yesterday in his press conference, which we did an outstanding show yesterday talking about the draft. He said yesterday that he's willing to trade up, he's willing to trade down, he wants to get the right guy, and that they've created flexibility for themselves because of how aggressive they've been addressing premium positions. Your Montez Sweats, your DJ Moore.
offensive line, yeah.
Drafting Darnell Wright, yes. So they would love to have more picks.
How about the news?
But they don't seem to be sweating it.
How about the news that Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze were working out together like a week ago with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen? We didn't talk about that all day today, but that was news last night. Pretty cool, pretty influential news that we could have talked about. But we didn't talk about it, so I had to bring it up here.
Let's just say hypothetically that all that's true. They're working out, yada, yada. Murphy's on the board. Odunze's on the board. They don't draft Odunze. Does Caleb just instantly protest?
Well, with all that's what I'm saying. With all this content and news about Caleb and Rome, if that situation does unfold, like we've talked about, is there any scenario where Bears fans will be disappointed with whatever pick?
That scenario.
And I guess that would be the one because they've kind of built us up now. It'd be one thing if Rome goes before number 9.
Yeah, it's
but
out
if
of
he's
their
there
power.
at 9 and they pass on him at this point with all this
no one's going to be
gas.
Caleb Williams is going to be a Bear. No one's going to be super upset tomorrow night. You'll understand the logic. $10 from Isaac Siegel. $10 from Isaac. Also, I noticed stadium in big letters to mean as a way to pay for it, we'll have a sponsor, i.e. SoFi Stadium. Yes,
No doubt.
deals are going to be cut to help pay for this bad boy.
CHGO Stadium. Cut the check, All City.
Yeah,
I was talking to Brandon Spano about that, and I think he's down. Why not?
He's a big dreamer, big thinker. So
Yeah.
takes big
Just like
thinkers to
Caleb
do
Williams,
big
right?
things.
Gave
Just like
Hope-
Caleb Williams,
gave-
8 Super Bowls.
Gave Hogue a huge pass on his sit-ups. I was very disappointed.
that, yeah.
All right. $10 more from Isaac. Is that right? One more. One more lot. Wait, one more. LOL. Could they still make a Bears land with tons of parking at Arlington Heights and use the metro subways to get to the stadium. This is coming from rural Wisconsin. That's a great idea. You have no idea what you're going to do with that land out there. Why don't you just build a parking lot and people can park there and then they can get on the metro and ride it to Soldier Field? That's a great idea.
Just
For those that really wanted to drive down
326 acres.
or for people that live
lot,
out there.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
There you go. Well, with technology and what the future is going to be, you park there and then all the hovercrafts will pick you up in Arlington Heights and then they'll just take you right to your seat. That's what's going to happen.
Mark Pearson says Taco Bell Stadium, your lips to God's ears. We should pray about that.
We have Philip here with a $10 super chat. The timing of the dome announcement is brilliant. The Bears are counting on national outlets to pick it up, minimize negative news on costs, and accelerate the plan through the May legislature sessions.
Totally 100% intentional. That's not even debatable to me.
Okay, the Tribune wrote an article about J.B. Pritzker not being there. Kevin Warren questions were fired up. Hey, how come J.B.'s not here? It wasn't, there was a lot of fluffy fluff out there, but the real stuff's being reported on too.
You're a fluffy fluff.
You need some fluff. $5 from Michael Erlander. Having a single train line that goes to the stadium will be a nightmare. Getting in our parking in Arlington Heights, also a nightmare. I've made that point. It's going to be terrible getting out. It's not going to be a day at the beach getting onto 53 in Arlington Heights. You have to stop by that barber's place and get a cut, and then somebody else will still be in your car waiting to pick you up. I need one MJ impersonation from Karm from Matt Nuku.
Oh, no.
Certainly. Stadium. I like the sidelines
This is
for
the
basketball.
worst. Nuku, why are you?
It's not MJ.
Honestly,
Yes.
$2 super chat isn't even worth enough to hear this terrible impersonation.
It certainly is, because Nuku has been a supporter of Karm.
What?
Should we ask the Bulls guys
Why
if
does-
that's a MJ
Why does
impersonation?
this sound like a Southern Michael Jordan? You sound like
You should get the Jordan. Do you understand the brilliance of Jordan? I don't think you do.
I thought I did.
Yeah,
what
I
what's
guess
what word what like phrases did he always say? Do you have any of those memorized? Quite naturally, certainly, perceive the perception. In a roundabout way, there was a disposable differentiation. If you go back and
He was speaking in idioms.
he has
Bring
some
it
of the,
back full
he
circle.
has some of the great. I had to adhere to my competitiveness. $2 from Chubbs. Karm. They are extending a tax by 40 years. Screw them. Hey, look. Hey, Chubbs. Kevin Warren paid that one off 23 years early. They're going to do the same thing here. And by the way, they sold off the parking and the tollways for 75 years, so 40 is a bargain around here. Sad-ass state and city. But Kevin Warren's literally trying to change our fiscal policies, our fiscal prudence or something. Any rate, Victor's up. Nick.
Victor Cruz, $9.99. Any hope on Marvin Harrison Jr.? I think if you're drafting a young receiver for a young franchise quarterback, you got to go all in. Thoughts? I think Rome and Neighbors are good, but I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is another level. Thoughts? Look, I really do like all three of those guys, but if that's the decision that Ryan Poles wants to go, trades future assets to go up and get Marvin Harrison Jr., I could see why. Because you want to get what he thinks is the best player, best wide receiver in this draft. So
I wouldn't complain if he did it. I just wouldn't advise him to do it. So,
and I don't think he will.
The guy is. I think he's the best of the three. I have friends that don't agree with that, but to me, he's so good. I think on tape, he just makes things look easier than the other two. Like he just blows by you with ease. He runs routes with ease. His
contested catches,
everything he makes look easy. He's unbelievable.
They trade up for Marvin. I'll be very excited about it.
Oh man, they're low, dude. Even Rome,
Okay,
like I said, even
Greg too
Rome
excited,
too.
man.
Like we're just superstars walking all over this team, running out that tunnel, that beautiful Soldier Field with Garrett's popcorn. See, you guys get a nice plug today for free.
Eli Sherman wrapping it up here. Prayer thing really rubs me the wrong way, especially with high-ranking public officials there. I'm not Christian. Not every Bears fan is. Can you imagine if they open with a Jewish or Islamic prayer? It was awkward. It was weird.
It was weird.
It was weird.
Like, why are we praying? I bow your heads. I'm like, okay.
I mean,
we're doing this.
Yeah.
All right. What's happening? I don't know.
I mean, it was odd, but it was 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was, it's not the way I would have started the press conference.
No, yeah.
And I did look around at the time and proceeded to continue to put out something on Twitter.
I mean, our country is, not to get too deep with it, but I mean, our country intersects with politics and religion, one nation under God. This is the bedrock of how our country was built. So like, this is a political thing with the stadium. So
Nagy, that's your win of the day. CHGO hates God. That's
wow.
I mean, I was raised Catholic. I'm not super religious anymore. I don't have an issue with anybody being Catholic or, and the importance of prayer and all that. Like, hey, but just the whole thing. All right, let's get on with the press conference. It was just one of those things. But I know Kevin Warren is big about that stuff. I'm not begrudging against him on that at all. But not everybody's religious either, too.
Let's all bow our heads and say goodbye for today. We thank you.
Pray for Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. and a fun day at Joe's on Weed Street, and I pray that all of you that are tuning in right now will get some tickets to Friday's draft party at allchgo.com/events, and I pray that I won't get too drunk at these draft parties presented by Circus Sports and Casa Azul. I think we all pray for that. I pray that I don't scare Gary Fensick, who's going to be coming out on Friday.
I pray for tacos.
Shout out to Collector's Cave, my guys. I pray I don't embarrass my good friends from Collector's Cave.
Keep going.
Maybe I pray by Saturday I still have a job here at CHGO.
I pray that 240 more people follow us on Twitter at CHGO_Bears to get us to 40,000 followers.
Hey,
Amen. Amen to that right there.
thanks for watching. Thanks to Cole Kmet for again making time for us. Nick, I didn't see you buy anything there. Where were you at again? What was the
Travis
store?
Mathew. I'm
He's
wearing it right
wearing
now. I'm decked out in Travis Mathew gear, so.
Sorry, I got it blowing up on my Travis Mathew. My apologies to Travis and Matthew and you. Good to see you, Cole. All right, hey, we're back tomorrow. Of course.
What's tomorrow, Karm?
It's our draft party. It's draft day. It's Caleb Williams Day. It's going to be freaking amazing. We're going to have an incredible time tomorrow, and we're going to have an incredible time Friday. Honestly, come on Friday. The Dalton and the Sheriffs thing on stage, CHGO, is going to be amazing. Be there Friday. Be there tomorrow. Hallelujah. Have a great rest of your day.
We all silly like the mayor.